Hi everyone. Today we're talking about a topic that I find to be of the utmost importance to me. Even though MBTI is something that I've always perceived to be very fascinating, if we take a step back and look at why we are interested in it and why it's important and why it matters, it often boils down to something that Jung called the process of individuation. So what is this process of individuation? Why do we care about it? Why is it useful? Why is it interesting? And is it really possible to attain it? All about that in the next minutes. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's dive in. So if you've noticed, quite often in MBTI, it's all about symmetry. It's all about seeing something from 4 perspectives, or from 8 perspectives, or from 16 perspectives, which somehow are interconnected in such a way that they create a circle. Something like this can happen with the cognitive functions in MBTI. This can also happen with the letters, introversion, extroversion, sensing, intuition, and so on and so forth. And this can happen with the 16 types as well. And this made me think, where did they actually come from? What is it that they create as a whole? And what can we understand from linking these concepts together and trying to make sense of them? And to be honest, I find this other theory to be extremely interesting. It's called Ecocentric psychology, and it also comes from Jungian psychology. It's also based on Jung's ideas and concepts. The idea was further developed by Bill Plotkin some years ago, and it basically tries to understand the human mind by looking at 4 different regions. They call them North, South, East, and West, and that is because they try to map the human psyche into nature. But similarly to MBTI, it focuses on 4 primary faculties of the mind and how they can manifest in people, both in a healthy and in an unhealthy way, similarly to how cognitive functions can also manifest in ourselves in a healthy way or in an unhealthy way. So to get a little bit deeper into what this ecocentric psychology refers to, it basically says that these 4 facets of the mind all show us various capacities and faculties that we have. And it also suggests that we are usually more in tune with 1 or 2 of these 4, which is similar to what MBTI says, or cognitive function theory, because despite the fact that we all have intuition, sensing, feeling, and thinking, we do tend to prefer, let's say, intuition and feeling over sensing and thinking. So when it comes to this ecocentric map of the mind, we will find our north, which is the part of ourselves that is called the generative adult. So the part of ourselves that is very nurturing, protective, the part of ourselves that is capable of healing, of helping other people grow and helping ourselves grow, the part of ourselves that is strong enough and capable enough to be mature, to be rational, to make decisions, to move things forward. The part of ourselves that is capable to be a parent, or maybe even to be a leader or someone that grows something. Whereas in the other side of the situation, we have the self, which is the more sensual, emotional, and raw aspect of the self. It's the part of ourselves that is connected to nature, the part of ourselves that is the most animalistic. And it seems to be incredibly interesting how this part of ourselves allows us to connect to everything that nature has to offer. It allows us to understand that no matter where we are, no matter what we do, we belong, because we are part of the whole, we are part of the universe. And it's also emotional and sexual and sensual. Then we have the Western perspective, my favorite one. This is called the muse, or the inner beloved. This Western perspective says that humans have the capacity to be immersed into the darkness. This is the part of ourselves that is more introverted, it's more curious about exploring ideas and concepts and theories, and somehow has an ability to connect to romantic perspectives, because romance brings along the mystery and the art that this part of ourselves craves. And in the other extreme, we have the Eastern perspective, which is the more extroverted part of the self. It's the part of ourselves that is curious. It's wise and innocent at the same time because it perceives the world through the senses. It's able to live in the present, right here, right now, and be naive and childish. But at the same time, it has a deep wisdom coming from the things that really, really matter. And why is it called ecocentric psychology? Well, because Bill Plotkin and his friends and his colleagues say that the best way in which one can explore these facets of the mind and truly understand and embrace them is in nature. I've done this myself. It's been one of the most life-changing experiences that I've ever had in this amazing program called Nature Inside. It really enabled me to connect to the energy that this forces had, especially to the Western side, the introverted, mysterious part. And I would say that I could find a lot of similarities with MBTI in the sense that because they both stem from Jung, they both kind of draw us back and pull us back into the fact that our ideal somehow is to be in the middle. However, it's an important question. Can we be in the middle? Can we integrate all of these perspectives in such a way that we are a balanced human being? Can we integrate our sensing side if we are an intuitive? Can we integrate our feeling side if we are a thinker? Can we become very north if we are very south? Or can we become very west if we are very east? Well, that's a very debatable question. I've seen people share various different perspectives. But my honest opinion is that, yes, we are able to integrate that. It will probably never be as strong, as powerful, as natural as the part of ourselves that manifested and grew strongly for a long period of time. But it can be the case that kind of connecting to the opposing energy that we are very strongly in tune with can grow us as people in such a way that we might experience a lot of revelations and aha moments and insights. Why is it important to answer this question? Why is it important to be able to explain whether this process of individuation and becoming whole is something that can actually happen? Well, why not? I believe this is probably the utmost goal that anyone might have in life. That's why opposites attract. That's why opposing perspectives connect with each other. That's why black and white only exist when the other one exists as well. This is why darkness always exists in the absence of light and the other way around. So the question kind of sheds light on some fundamental human nature stuff. Because the more we connect, the more we understand about what we are pushing down into the unconscious mind, into our shadows, the more we can embrace and accept that. Maybe we will never be fully aware of what that shady, weird area can kind of provide us with. Maybe we will never be able to kind of develop such talents in our undeveloped sides that it will match our strong part. Because of course, if intuition and sensing, for example, are opposed, if you use a lot of intuition, you will not be able to use a lot of sensing. Similarly, if you want to develop sensing as an intuitive dominant, the more you develop sensing, the less your intuition will function. So it's always a matter of kind of taking from somewhere and putting somewhere else. So if something is extremely strong and it's extremely prevalent in you, and it was created genetically and in the first years of your life, it will probably be the case that you will find it harder to integrate the other perspectives. But you can pull out more and more information from that side of yourself. And I can say from the bottom of my heart that to me, doing that was probably one of the best things I could have ever done for myself. I do it regularly. I do these checkups when some things trigger me from the outside world, and I often enough find that those things come from my shadow. They come from the part of me that cannot maybe accept that behavior because it's completely opposed to my ego and who I am and who I want to be. So if I'm to leave with you a message from this video, a main essence, a main point, I would say, guys, try to look at yourselves and try to see, what am I clinging on too much to? What is the part of me that I'm too dependent on? And what kind of behaviors, cognitions, emotions am I throwing away? Because maybe they will have a very important message that they can tell you. If you're interested in finding out more about ecocentric psychology, please access the link in the description. And I'm really excited to see you in the comments to say what you know about this topic, how you understand it, and what does it mean to you to be whole. So thank you a lot for watching. I've really enjoyed doing this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and see you next time with another video.